Hey, what's going on TikTok? It's your boy, Brother Leon. I want to give you the evidence. The evidence that Paul, as well as other apostles, were the ultimate weapon used against black people. Because when you look at the slave Bible, which was produced in 1807 by Law and Gilbert and now is the property of Fisk University, the one thing, man, that we can sit up here and maybe have discourse on is how religion was used. Because the one thing I'm going to tell you is this: they will give you religion to control you, but never truth to free you. That's why in the slave Bible, they admitted all the passages, most of the Old Testament, where it talked about liberation. And this is the reason why people have a problem with liberation theology, especially when you attach it to black liberation. And so I'm going to give you this. The writings of Peter, 1 Peter 2:18. The writings of Paul, Colossians 3:22. Ephesians 6:5. And I want to stop right there. Servants, obey your masters. And the crazy thing about Ephesians chapter 6 is that, number one, that is the spiritual warfare chapter. So servants, obey your master, but put on the helmet of salvation. Really? So at the end of the day, the one thing I'm going to tell you is this: if it was forced upon the African slave, can you trust it to save your soul? Could they trust it to save their soul? Because the one thing I'm going to tell you is this: if you're in church, you're just on another plantation trying to please and work and get into heaven and get in the promise. Because that is what the slavers gave the African slaves: a promise that if you do good, that if you obey the master, if you follow this Bible, that God is going to take you into heaven. You ain't got to work no more. A white Jesus, a white God, and a white overseer, and a white master. And this is the reason why I say that Paul was the ultimate weapon used against black people. Because the white people gave the slave the Bible, and we still jumping around, hopping around in church. And if you hold on to any doctrine of Paul, make it make sense. Because the one thing I'm going to tell you is this: we can talk theology all day long, but how can you wrestle against history? And that's the God knows truth. And that's what a lot of theologians and a lot of apologists don't want to deal with, the history. Because as much revelation we got, we still got racism. Peace.